everybody's attention. We got a full house tonight. It's really great to see. And I think most everybody is positive. We don't have much negative going on tonight. That's always a lot better. So I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order on April 28th, 2026, and I'll ask the city clerk to please call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Present.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Present.
Commissioner Wilson?
Present.
Mayor Bray?
Present. I would ask Commissioner Wilson to do the invocation and will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you on behalf of all of us who are gathered here for all of the many blessings that we have. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work. We come to you today asking for your guidance and support as we begin this meeting. Please grant us wisdom as we make decisions on behalf of our citizens. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have one proclamation tonight, and this is Mental Health Awareness Month. And Ashley Walters, are you here? Yeah. I think I've actually heard your name before. At home. This proclamation reads as follows. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas all people experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives and mental health conditions are real and prevalent in our community, and whereas raising awareness and understanding of mental health can help reduce stigma and encourage individuals to seek help early, improving outcomes and saving lives. And whereas we recognize community members, advocates, and mental health professionals who work tirelessly to provide critical support, advocate to improve access to care, and protect the rights of people living with mental health conditions. And whereas Mental Health Awareness Month provides a dedicated time to come together as a community to support mental wellness, promote education and compassion, and renew our commitment to understanding mental health. Now, therefore, I, George P. Bray, Mayor of the City of Paducah, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. So from there, we'll go to City Manager. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda tonight?
Mayor and Commission, yes, we have one deletion tonight. It will be Municipal Order B. We need to pull that one from agenda and bring it back at a future date after we do some more investigation on that.
Okay. All right, thank you. Now we have public comments. And we have three folks who are interested in making public comments. And the first one is Tamara Tracy. Tamara, if you would come forward and you want.
Okay. How about if I go last?
Okay. I'm in a good mood, Tamara. That's good. Amina Watkins.
You knew I would go first.
No, I never knew that. Just, if you would, state your name, your address, where you live,
Yeah.
and you got 3 minutes.
All right. Amina Watkins. I live at 432 North 5th Street in Lowertown. Hello, neighbors. All right. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager. Before we talk about the future, we should remember our history. In 1946, Dr. Andrew W. Morton Sr., a graduate of Meharry Medical College, returned to Paducah and opened his dental practice on the South Side. For nearly 50 years, he served families as the only African-American dentist in the community during a time when access to care was limited. He brought dignity, confidence, and health where it was needed most. Tonight, we have the opportunity to continue what he started. This project matters because it aligns with the Southside Revitalization Plan already underway. But revitalization means little if the people who live there now cannot benefit from it. Growth must include the residents who stayed, endured, and believed in Southside through every season. The full vision includes more than dental care. It includes access, opportunity, and essentials like a grocery store. With the closing of Dollar General, many residents now have fewer options for basic needs and must travel further than they should. I have had the privilege of working with Dr. Hamilton and attending advisory meetings and helping organize a trip for the community members and Paducah Tillman students to visit Meharry. Many had never heard of Meharry before. They returned inspired, seeking careers in healthcare and higher education that felt possible for them. That matters. Currently, data shows dental access in our country is limited, and many providers do not accept Medicaid. Too many people delay care until it becomes an emergency. I think of my daughter's grandfather, Mickey White, an elder who lived in Forest Hills, who died after an untreated tooth infection entered his bloodstream. No one should lose their life because basic dental care was out of reach. So tonight, I want to thank Dr. Hamilton for his 6 years of determination and thank each of you for recognizing the value of this moment. This is more than a building. This is more than just an agreement. This is more than just your vote. It is access, it is opportunity, it is dignity, and it is hope. And years from now, people may look back on this vote and say this was the moment Paducah chose to invest in Southside and the people who call it home. Thank you.
Thank you, Amina. Next up, we have Leontine Garnett. Did I get it right? No, thanks. Welcome.
My name is Leontine Garnett, and I'm Amina's big cousin. So I live at 715 South 22nd Street, Apartment 2 in Elmwood Court. And I would just like to say, other than what Amina said, yes, it's very important because I get a state medical card, and for 18 months, I have not been able to go to the dentist. No dentist here in Paducah will take my medical card. I've called all over on my days off. The closest I can go is to Lexington or Louisville, and they so backed up that they said call back in July. So yes, this is very important, and I thank the NAACP because I was one of the people that got to go to a Meharry, and it's a very wonderful opportunity. And me as a citizen here in Paducah, I feel that this is just like infrastructure or just like the sports park. My health is important too, and I just pray and ask that you please consider that for us to be able to have that care and not have to go 100, 300, 400, 500 miles away just to see a dentist. Thank you.
Thank you, Leontine. And Tamara?
Thank you, members of the commission and clerk. Thank you for allowing us to be here, and city manager. It takes a lot to get me out of the garden and to tear away from my windows. And so I just say that because I want to stress the fact that this Meharry clinic is very important There are many things that make up a community. Healthcare facilities, housing, all that. And this is just one part. And what makes this one in particular important is it's a way to tie that healthcare facility to the community. I think this crowd demonstrates that you've had that connection is there, that buy-in is there, and that's a very big barrier to overcome when providing facilities in a community that you're trying to rebuild. The only comment I want to add to my support and the fact that all these people support this is, man, it should have been done yesterday, because dental care is critical. It goes to a person's self-worth, it goes to their nutrition, and it goes to their basic health. So please support it, and if any way possible, support it more, because it's definitely needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tamara. I appreciate it. And now we'll move to the, I don't have any more comments. I'm sorry? We got one more comment back there. Did you fill out Dr. Koji, did you fill out a comment card?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So we're going to move to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Commissioners and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. The city clerk will read the items recommended for approval unless one of our commissioners would like an item removed for separate discussion. If not, then I would ask the city clerk to read the items recommended for approval.
Approve minutes for the April 14th, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. Reappointment of Shirley Walker to the Forest Hills Village Incorporated Board of Directors. Said term shall expire May 6th, 2028. Reappointment of Edward Box to the Civil Service Commission. Said term shall expire May 13th, 2029. Personnel actions, a municipal order approving a contract with Municipal and Contractor Sealing Products in the amount of $51,000 for the Pump Station 5 pipelining project, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents related to same. A municipal order approving change order number 2 with Jim Smith Contracting for additional scope of work for the Paducah Riverfront Infrastructure Improvement Project for $41,974, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same. A municipal order approving a contract with Terry Recart LLP in the amount of $75,000 to provide audit services for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents related to same. A municipal order adopting contract modification number 6 to the construction contract with A&K Construction, reducing said contract by $119,800, updating the contract amount to $50,936,790.92, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same. A municipal order authorizing and directing the city manager to initiate a request for bids for playground equipment and resurfacing at Cobb Park. A municipal order authorizing and directing the city manager to initiate a request for bids for shade canopies for the Noble Park Pool and tennis courts. A municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute an application for a Kentucky Fire Commission training facility grant in an amount not to exceed $50,000 to be used toward the design and construction of a 4-story fire training drill tower for the Paducah Fire Department, accepting any grant funds awarded by the Kentucky Fire Commission, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same. A municipal order authorizing the finance director to make payment to Mobile Communications of America for purchase and installation of software in the amount of $51,076, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same.
So moved.
Second. Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. Okay, the first thing on the agenda now is a municipal order approving the agreement with Hamilton Properties for Meharry. So I would ask the city clerk to please read the motion.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, a municipal order approving a development agreement, Phase 1 with Hamilton Place Properties, LLC, related to the Meharry Medical College development at 1034 Walter Jeton Boulevard, and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same.
So moved. Second.
Welcome, Carol.
All right.
Tell us about the project, tell us where we are, and what are the next steps?
Well, tonight's a big night. We've reached a milestone. And of course, you have the floor plans of the first building here before you tonight, as well as the development agreement. And this is for the first phase of the project. And I'm going to let Dr. Eddie Hamilton come to the podium. And he's really the one that had the vision and pieced all this together. And I'm going to let him come up and talk and introduce the members of Meharry who will be his long-term tenant.
Welcome, Dr. Hamilton.
Thank you, Mayor Bray, and thank you, Commissioners. And Carol, thank you especially. She's worked very hard on this project for some time now, and I've been very blessed to be able to work with her on this effort. So thank you all for being here. We are Paducah, and it's very impressive watching all the faces that are here. This is historic, it's important, and we've come a long way. The Meharry project is the creation of a talk I had 6 years ago with Mayor Bray when he was a candidate for mayor. He saw the vision of what Paducah can be and needs to be and will be. And under his leadership, we've been able to get to this point. So this is phase one of a project that brings Meharry Medical College to Paducah in a significant way. Meharry Medical College is one of 4 historically black medical schools in the country. There's Howard University in D.C., there's Morehouse in Atlanta, there's Drew Medical School in Los Angeles, and then there's Nashville has Meharry Medical College, which will be recognizing its 150th anniversary this year. Historic institution that has meant a lot to all of us. Someone mentioned earlier, Amina mentioned Dr. Morton, a graduate of Meharry. His daughter was my babysitter when I was 4 years old on Rudy Avenue. So there's some real history here, real meaningful history here. I want to thank those of you that are here who've been on the team for a while. They're all back there. We've got an army, and there's more waiting in the wings. You guys have worked diligently and been persistent. Couldn't have done this without you, and we're here now, and there's more to come. Chad Byer from I-5 Design is our architect. He's in the back of the room. Give him credit for putting together the amazing photo that you're about to see, and this floor plan was drafted by his team and also a gentleman from Henry Schein. And so with me today are Dr. Sheree Farmer-Dixon, who is the Dean of the Meharry Dental School. Dr. Farmer-Dixon, can you stand for us? Yeah. And Dr. Julie Gray is the Associate Dean of the Dental School at Meharry. Would you please stand? And Dr. Gray has been working with me since the beginning. I've worn her out, but she's still got, her legs are still working though, and there's more to come. And next to Dr. Farmer-Dixon is Dr. Raymond Wynn, who works here at Baptist Hospital as a radiation oncologist, and he is a Meharry alumnus himself. I found out tonight that he actually is a classmate of Dr. Farmer-Dixon. So again, we're just coming full circle in so many ways. So, all right. All right. So without further ado, I can't navigate the technology. I'll let Carol do that for me. Okay. At the corner of Caldwell Street and Walter Jeton Boulevard is property that my family has owned for several decades. It's sat idle for a long, long time. My father bought it, had no idea what he was going to do with it, but he just bought it because he bought stuff like that. And this building was originally the 10th Street Market. As far as I know, it was built in 1904. Subsequently, it became at some point a liquor store. And it's not that anymore, thank goodness. And it's been sitting empty for a while, but we just chose to repurpose this building as the future home of a faculty dental clinic staffed by Meharry Medical College. So we'll have a full-time dentist that lives and works in Paducah, but is appointed by Meharry in Paducah. We'll also have dental hygienists there and dental assistants there providing care for our residents, and we will see everyone. Regardless of your ability to pay, we will see you. We'll find a way to see you. We are partnering very closely with Kentucky Care. As you all know, they provide care for the same population that we like to serve, but they don't do dental care, so we will be partnering with them directly. And in this building, we will start with 6 operatories. The floor plan that was up previously shows 6 exam rooms, 3 that are for the dentist and 3 that are for the dental hygienist. We will reface this building and make it look like it's brand spanking new. This is what we envision. It's beautiful. And around that will be other developments that will come later, but this is phase 1, and we're very pleased and proud of where we are right now. And I'm sorry I'm speaking to you all, because this is for the community. I should be facing the people that have the
You're
authority to
fine.
decide.
We can hear.
But this is really, this is
Do
really
your thing.
for the community, and I'm just very pleased and proud. And lastly, and I need to sit down, I can't do this without reminding myself. Didn't mean to do that. This is for BA and Francis. As you all know, that BA is my father, Francis is my mother. So that's a big part of why we're doing this, and I thank you all for your support. Thank you for your vote today. Thank you. And for any,
Dr. Hamilton, if I could
Yes.
just, I think the commission might be interested in the history
yes.
of Meharry Medical College. It's a fascinating history, how it got its start, and I don't know who is most familiar with that history, but it would be good to just share that history with the commission and the whole crowd.
Thank you for that, Mayor Bray, and I'd love to. And I'd like Dr. Farmer-Dixon and Dr. Gray to come up with me because they know the story better than I do. Dr. Hildreth, who is the president of Meharry, could not be here tonight. He had a recent medical procedure, but he loves to tell the story. There is a Kentucky origin story to Meharry. The gentleman that started this, that provided the funding for the school, were German immigrants who were traveling through southern Kentucky when their salt wagon broke down in the middle of nowhere. This is shortly after the Civil War. So I'm going to let Dr. Farmer-Dixon relay to you the more details of that story. She'll do a better job than I could.
You started off excellent. Hello, everyone. So continuing from where Samuel Meharry was a young gentleman who was passing through Kentucky and on his salt wagon, and it broke down. And so he was in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky. But in the distance, he could see a small cabin with a light. And so he went there, and there was the family of freed slaves that were there. And he explained to them what had happened. And it was getting dark. And so they put him up for the night. And the next morning, went with him, helped him get his wagon out and let him be on his way. And he said then, "For your act of kindness, I will repay your people for the kindness that you showed." Unfortunately, history does not tell us who that family was. But 50 years later, he and his brothers gave the seed money to start Meharry Medical College. And so Meharry Medical College started as a division of Central Tennessee State College. And then it then evolved into Meharry Medical College. And so in 1876 was the establishment of Meharry Medical College. And so we are celebrating our sesquicentennial, 150 years of living out the motto of worship of God through service to mankind. The dental school started 10 years later, so we're celebrating 140 years of making a difference in the lives of others, one smile at a time. And so we proudly say in the School of Dentistry that 27% of the current practicing Black dentists in the United States are graduates of Meharry Medical College. And we instill in them as they come into dental school and as they graduate of living out the motto of worship of God through service to mankind and practicing in underserved communities. And so approximately 80% of our graduates from medicine and dentistry provide primary care. So they are providing to communities that others would not provide, as demonstrated by Dr. Wynn, who is here as well. So that is the history of Meharry.
So part of the magic here, I think, when Eddie first called me 6 years ago, I mean, and I was, not an elected official, I was wanting to be elected, and so he presented this thought process to me about this, and curious enough, I spent 40 years in pharmaceutical distribution, so I had actually called on Nashville General Hospital and was very familiar with Meharry Medical College. So just the fact that, I had some history, was part of, what got us started. And then, of course, when I heard the story, really about how Meharry started and the goals that I think myself and the commission have been trying to drive in this community, it was really a perfect fit. And it's taken 6 long years to get us here, and we've had several start, stops, and different iterations, but today we're here.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
do the commissioners have any questions about anything?
Well, not a question, but I just have to say, this is a powerful step forward for Paducah and our South Side, and it's really for the underserved in our community. So I look back at when I traveled with the community to Meharry, and I was just highly impressed with the staff and when I was able to meet with the board and just even the students there. So I'm really impressed with Meharry Medical College and really looking forward to this progress in Paducah.
I'm going to say this. I'm really glad you mentioned your parents because many of us knew B.A. and Francis, and they were wonderful leaders in our community, an example of leadership that you're continuing through with this. So thank you very much, and thank you for mentioning them. What a wonderful tribute.
Thank you.
I appreciate also, besides the health benefits, which are fantastic, but I really appreciate you guys also supporting the Southside Project, and this will be a linchpin for the Southside Project, and just thank you for everything.
Thank you very much.
Great.
I think as was stated earlier, that I hope that this is just a vote today, but I do hope that this vote will lead into a whole lot of other things for the South Side. So we really do appreciate your perseverance and appreciate the perseverance of all those who have worked with you. This is a good day and a historic day for Paducah, and we appreciate that.
And we're thankful for your leadership from all of you. Thank you.
So I have one more, if I could just ask an operational question, because I know that you're going to see all patients, and we know that Medicaid reimbursement for dentists is, subpar, and that it's hard to get a dentist to actually take Medicaid. Yes. And we know that the University of Louisville has a program out at WKCTC, and they've got a 6-month waiting list, I'm told, and we'd heard the lady say that same thing in Louisville. So what's going to be different about here? I mean, how are we going to operationalize the clinic so that people can get in?
Thank you for that question. It's a very important question because we can't do it for free. It's impossible. It would not be a sustainable model if we were just going to serve everybody and not be reimbursed for the service we provide. So we've got to find solutions. Meharry has 150 years of finding a way out of no way. I had that same experience in my own practice over the last 30 years of practice. You can find a way if it's important and you are committed to that effort. Now, it's harder. It's harder than it should be, and there are systems in place and there are barriers that are in our way, and our job is to overcome those. And so we will do that in a very creative way. One of the important things will be we can't do it alone. We need the help of government at all levels. We need city, state, and local government to support what we're doing.
And county.
And county. I apologize for that. We need support at every level, without a doubt. And we will find a way to do that. And we'll make the case that what we're doing is feasible and it's impactful. We have a feasibility study that's being updated right now by the University of Kentucky. An entity called Blueprint Kentucky is updating that study, and they're also doing an impact study. You'll get that by the end of May, and that will provide us with some data that supports the need for the service and a way to make it financially viable. We have started a nonprofit called Civic Pathways Group. That is essential because we're creating what we call a public-private partnership. So there's a need for access to funds that we otherwise would not have access to as a private entity by being a public entity as well. So the not-for-profit Civic Pathways Group, you'll be hearing a lot about that. We got to raise a lot of money to do that. We got to incentivize Meharry to come. They're not trying to get here. They're willing to come if we support them right. And so we have to incentivize them to come by providing low income guarantees for their dentists, relocation packages, loan repayment programs, things like that. So we will be raising a lot of money from a variety of sources. We will also be participating in all the programs that are out there that we normally don't know about and don't participate in. For example, under this current administration, they passed a bill that includes the rural health transformation
Right.
program. We will be participating in that. Meharry is already doing that in Tennessee. Tennessee has already received their allocation, and Meharry will participate in that in Tennessee. But I'm working with the Purchase Area Development District to do that. I'm working with Kentucky Care to make sure that we are part of that, because that's a significant amount of money that's coming to programs that are providing care to those who are being left out. So the thing is, we have to make sure we have the right levels of support to be able to make the case to include us in those programs. There's money out there. You just have to work really hard to get it. But if we have the support of the community and the leaders in the community, we can garner that support and make this a model that's financially viable. And I want to say this very clearly. You know, Meharry has a teaching mission that isn't always focused on making a lot of money. We have to be a profit center for Meharry and Paducah. They can't come here and lose money. They have to come here and be financially viable to sustain it and to perpetuate it and to do more, because we need more than just the dental program here. So again, luckily, I've been blessed with 40 years of experience in healthcare and figuring out these solutions to these kinds of problems. Meharry's been a great partner to me in Nashville. They're going to be an even greater partner to me here in Paducah. And believe me, we'll give you something that you can be very proud of. And we'll partner with all those other entities. Dr. Reese has already written us a letter of support. We intend to train their students as well. We've reached out to the University of Louisville. We had a meeting with them, and we haven't gotten an agreement yet, but our intention is to have their students coming here. I know Murray State is now getting interested. I've noticed that since we showed up 6 years ago, this part of the state's getting more attention from other parts of the state that they used to not get, and that's fine. We appreciate that attention. We want UK and we want U of L here. We want them here as partners. This is a collaborative effort. We are training a workforce of the future, and it's imperative that we recognize that. Our young people need good paying jobs. They need to own stuff, and so we have to be building wealth in the community that normally is left out. So again, long-winded answer to your question, but we are very methodical and thoughtful about this process. I think Civic Pathways Group is going to be that entity that provides the civic infrastructure that most communities are lacking, and the reason why they can't kind of figure this out and get past this. And lastly, I'll say this. I tried this in Nashville with the previous mayor in Nashville, and they weren't really receptive. So all praise to you, Mayor Bray. Communities need to recognize you can't fix things by doing the same things you've always been doing. You've got to do something that you've never done before to get a different outcome. And so I ask you all to think about that as you make your decisions, and the county as well, the state as well. You can't do it with the current system. You have to change the system if you want it to be different. And we're here to be that change agent. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any more questions from commissioners? Okay, well, I would ask the city clerk to please call roll in.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. All right, motion passed. Congratulations. Okay, we have one more municipal order, and I'll ask the city clerk to read it, and then, I don't know, is Chief Kyle going to cover it? Okay.
I live on 10th Street. They've been over there working on 10th Street for the last 2
Ma'am,
months.
I'm sorry, I apologize, but that's not appropriate. I'll be happy to see you. One of us will see you after the meeting. So I would ask the city clerk, please read this municipal order.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, a municipal order approving a contract with Delve Health Consulting in the amount of $59,400 to provide psychological and organizational health support for the fire department, and authorizing the mayor to sign all documents related to same.
So moved.
Second.
Chief?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager, City Clerk. Thank you all for being here tonight. I just wanted to, this contract is about some specific work that we are looking to contract with Delve Health Consulting for. As you know, the fire department's been through a couple of things over the last year or two, and we're looking to improve upon the relationships internally between the management and the ranks within the department, and this is a part of that process. We've kind of leaped off of the mental health process that was initiated by Human Resources. A couple months ago, we invited Dr. Jacobs in to do some preliminary work with us to kind of help us get a feel for where we were and steps that we needed to take forward. And what you see tonight are the results of that. It's something very specific and very targeted for our organization specifically, and to improve the relationships between management and the rank and file, and keep us focused and going in the same direction. And breaking down some of those silos, even between divisions, even prevention and suppression, and just working on the organization holistically to help stabilize the organization and propel us forward. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish. The target is a 12-month program, and then hopefully after we get through the end of that, periodically come back and continue that process. But this is something very specific for us that I highly recommend that we do, and that will hopefully improve the operation of the department.
So what's it involve?
Dr. Jacobs, would you mind helping me with that just a little bit? Yeah, come on up. She happens to be here tonight in support of mental health, but I guess it's been about a month ago where we invited her in to sit down with the staff, started with the chiefs, and she met with us all individually and collectively to talk about the issues that we're having within the department. And from that, we were hoping to garner some direction in things that we needed to work on from a leadership perspective and from an organizational perspective, and that's where I would like you to come in if you would.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So this would include an organizational health assessment to start off with, and that was initiated during our first meetings with the chiefs. And then what comes from that assessment is an individualized targeted plan that will target mental health of the rank and file, as well as leadership and development, and then continued cultural assessment. So from a clinical psychology perspective, making sure that we're targeting those changes within the organization as a system to collaborate, to de-silo, and to move the mission towards what the fire department's mission is altogether, to move in that direction together as one.
So it's a 6-month program?
12-month program. Yes, sir.
Okay. And would you be talking to every person in the rank and file eventually?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Am I the only one that had them?
Oh, I think it sounds like a good idea. I mean, it's always good to have someone come in from the outside to look at things objectively, so I think that's a great idea.
We felt we really needed the objectivity with some of the events that we've been through, and she didn't know I was going to punt to her here tonight, so I'm glad. She came in support of mental health, but she really came in support of me too, whether she knows it or not.
Well, she supported your mental health.
She did. She did support my mental health. So yeah, we think it's going to be a good thing, and think we'll see some positive results out of it. We asked for her to come and do that with us to get a start, and really excited about the opportunity, if you all will support it, to moving forward.
Yeah.
Great.
And Mayor and Commission, as you all well know, and I think the general public knows too, is that our public safety team members go through a lot. You know, they show up on people's worst days, but they take that home with them at times. Mm-hmm. And so it's something the police department has gone through, and we thought it was appropriate also to bring this into the fire department as well.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
That was a good explanation, and I better understand it, and I'll ask the city clerk to call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. We have one ordinance to adopt. It is a consensual annexation that we read a couple of weeks ago, and I'd ask the city clerk to please read it.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance extending the boundary of the City of Paducah, Kentucky by annexing certain property lying adjacent to the corporate limits of the City of Paducah and accurately defining the boundary of said property to be included within the said corporate limits. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The City of Paducah hereby approves the consensual annexation of a certain tract of property contiguous to the present city limits located at 224 Burger Road and containing approximately .371 acres.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Sorry, was there any questions about this? Okay. All right.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. And that's all the formal business that we have, and then we have a couple of discussion items. The first is a budget discussion, and then second of all, we're going to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I would invite our Director of Finance, Audra Kyle, to come up and walk us through this budget discussion.
Yes, sir. Do you want me to wait to let them clear out? I'll go ahead.
I think you can go.
Okay. All right. Good evening. Tonight, we're going to have a continuation of our budget discussions, and tonight's topic is general fund revenues. As we did at the last meeting and when discussing appropriations, we're going to take a look at the current state in fiscal 26 before we look ahead to 27. So when we speak about general fund revenue, 82% of what we are expecting for fiscal 26 is comprised of what we call the Big Four. That is payroll tax, insurance premium tax, real estate property tax, and business license. I'm going to touch on each one of these and where we stand budget-wise as we make our way through the fourth quarter of this fiscal year. Okay, first of all is property tax with the real estate. The final deadline for second half bills was March 2nd. So we have a very clear look at what how this revenue's performed this year. This revenue's not only grown by the 4% increase that was included in the rate calculation, but also has some additional revenue reflected through delinquent taxes that were collected over this past year through the efforts of our revenue equity team. And we do believe, as of March 31st, when that month was closed, our budgeted projection of $6.7 million was achieved. So we will meet budget on property tax. Next is business license. This has been a really interesting year for business license. Due to IRS disaster-related relief, penalty and interest were not assessed on 2025 business license filings submitted through the federal filing deadline of November 3rd. So as a result, filings and collections that would normally occur in fiscal 25 have been received in the current year. In addition to the impact of that deadline, in August 2025, the Commission passed an inflationary adjustment that was made to the gross receipts threshold on which the excess rate is applied. So beginning in January 26, that threshold increased from $3.5 million to $5.13 million. This will have a positive effect on what was previously a flat projection, but because the deadline just passed on April 15th, we do not know yet the full impact of that change. But it's coming. Insurance premium tax. Year-to-date insurance premium tax collections are almost completely flat from prior year. Due to the historically unpredictability of this revenue, we take a really conservative approach when budgeting this revenue. So our current revenue projection of $7.2 million remains unchanged from the previous year. We still have another quarter of collections and year-end accrual adjustments still pending. So it's uncertain if we will meet budget, but we'll be close. We'll be around budget, around that $7.2 million expected. And finally, the biggest of the Big Four revenues, payroll withholding tax. So based on our year-to-date numbers, we do anticipate meeting our revenue projection of $20.9 million. So where we end in comparison to last year, when the dust settles, is going to come down to that last quarter and year-end accrual adjustments. But we do anticipate meeting that projection of $20.9 million. So as a whole, we're we're going to come out pretty close to what we budgeted this year, if not slightly exceed it. So where does that put us for 2027 revenue projections? The current general fund budget projection reflects a revenue estimate based on the compensating rate for property tax, real estate property tax. So as a reminder, the compensating rate is the rate that, if adopted, will generate the same amount of revenue as the previous year. So because the calculation is based on assessed valuations as of 1/1/26, that rate can differ from the current rate of 0.271. The account, even though we're going to adopt the compensating rate, will still reflect a small increase, which has been added for the continued efforts of our revenue equity team. Business license, as I mentioned in the earlier slide, the 4/15 deadline has just passed, so we will not have a solid look at those results until we close April here in the next few weeks. So at this point, fiscal 2025 data is still our most current point of reference. A known factor that we are able to account for at this point is the second year of our 5-year phase-in for that inflationary threshold adjustment. And the threshold for fiscal 27 is going to be $6.76 million. Insurance premium tax. There are no indications that this revenue will increase over the next fiscal year, so we are continuing with a conservative flat projection figure for fiscal 27 of $7.2 million. Finally, we have payroll tax. Because of its significance to our revenue portfolio, how this tax performs drives where we are headed in terms of our flexibility, ability to expand services, and ultimately where we land in setting general fund appropriations. This will be our second year in a row of projecting 3% growth. Although this is a positive trajectory, it is modest and does not reflect any meaningful expansion to the tax base. Additionally, this rate of growth is not sufficient to keep pace with the growth of expenditures. So this chart shows the combined total of those big four revenues and how they've grown since fiscal 2021. The total of all four projected for fiscal 27 is just under $42 million, which is an increase of approximately $1.4 million. This next chart shows the history of these combined revenues in comparison to total general fund expenditures. I do want to make a note on fiscal 25 for comparison purposes that we did move we had that fund balance spend in fiscal 2025, so I've removed that to strictly have operational budgets here. So as you can see, the gap between the total appropriations and revenue is growing, but the next slide really shows kind of how that gap accumulates over time. So I put this chart together to demonstrate what the growth gap is doing over time. So instead of looking at straight dollar amount increases for each year for both revenue and expenditures, I gave the same base year of 2021, and we're strictly looking at the accumulation of change over the years. So I did this to show that although the dollar amount of the gap year by year may not look dramatic in that single year, but over time it's creating increased pressure on the budget. So as we enter into the final month of budget preparation, we have finalized revenue projections, we've completed our departmental budget review, and now we're working to balance those service needs with the resources. And finance and the city manager's office are meeting regularly at this point, and we're preparing for our upcoming meetings with each of you. What questions do you have?
So I had my budget meeting, my kickoff budget meeting with the team today. So I think I got a good overview of where we are, and I know that they're meeting with each of you all very soon. So you'll get a real bird's eye view. But do you have any questions about? This is kind of a high level overview of where we've been going and where we're headed. So any questions?
Just a comment. I mean, we have done some really big projects, great projects, and so it probably, timing's not bad to take a breather from some of the big type stuff, so everything goes in cycles. And
right. And I think the presentation that you guys are going to see will demonstrate that, that we do need to, focus on, managing our expenses, where we are now, and make sure that we're taking care of everything, paying close attention to the general fund, making sure that we've got a proper reserve, which we do, but at the same time, it's something that we have to take care of. So this city's always, as long as I can remember, has been fiscally strong, conservative in the way that we manage our expenses and our money. And I think that's something that all of us, the mayor and all four commissioners, can take a lot of pride in. We can demonstrate to citizens that we take care of their tax revenues and manage it properly. And so this budget process is definitely a part of that. So we'll all be digging in. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Audra.
Audra.
And so now we have a discussion on Mental Health Awareness Month. As Pam comes up here, I want to give credit to Commissioner, ma'am, you're going to stay around so we can chat?
Sure, I'll be around.
Thank you. I want to give credit to Commissioner Reynaldo Henderson, who first raised the issue of mental health awareness to make sure that the city was looking at that. And so this has really been an extension of that work, Ray. So I just wanted to give credit where credit's due. Pam?
All right. Well, good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Clerk. Got Stephanie Wilcox here to help support me as we talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. And as you know, this has been a commission priority. It started in 2023. It was an action item under quality of life. And since then, after that year, it has been a continuous improvement item so that we have focused on mental health awareness. And as we're working on our messaging, we use the guidance of a nonprofit, Mental Health America. They used to be called National Association for Mental Health. It's the nation's leading nonprofit for the promotion of mental health, well-being, and condition prevention. So we really focus on their messaging. They're the experts, not us, so we use their messaging to help us craft our messaging internally and externally. And they actually started Mental Health Month in 1949. So this has been around for a long time. And they have a theme every year, and the theme for this year is More Good Days Together. So that talks about how connection is protection. If you're talking to one another, that does help in your mental health. And then it talks about, what does a good day mean? A good day for me may not be a good day for you. So it could be a variety of definitions. So you're always looking for what gives you the good day. So over the month of May, I will be pushing out some social media posts, and I use their messaging. This is one of their toolkit of social media that they provide, and this is one of the posts. The good days look different for everyone. You notice it's in green. That is the color of mental health awareness, and you see the green out in the audience from our proclamation that we had earlier. A lot of folks wear the green or a green jacket. And then they also do something that I'm seeing a lot of emails this year for the Bell Seal. It is actually a recognition, a national recognition that they provide. They started it in 2019 to recognize employers who actually focus on workplace mental health. They have a comprehensive application. It is quite comprehensive. Looked into it, 37 questions. A lot of the questions are yes or no. If you say yes, opens up a whole other list of questions. So it is very comprehensive, and it has several essay responses. I think about 8 essays that you have to submit for this. The categories are workplace culture. It gets into your benefits that you provide, caring beyond compliance. So what are you doing beyond your benefits? And then it just talks about holistic wellness. So the questions are in one of those 4 categories. Once you submit your application, you receive a score. The score goes up to 100, and then it's very similar to like a high school grading scale. You can get a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum designation if you do basically like a C or higher. So that you do get a score. So this year, we decided to apply. I worked with Human Resources Department, Stephanie Wilcox, Mackenzie Murphy. We worked together to put together the application. So drum roll. We got a gold. We got the gold seal. We were
great.
just so close to the platinum. So we did get the gold designation. We just got that information back just not too long ago. And our score was an 89. And we have a summary report that compares us to the last year's applicants right now. And that last year, there was about 1,200 other employers that applied. And so we do have our first report. After they get all of the 2026 applicants in, we'll get another report that compares us to this year's applicants. So in those 4 categories, I'll quickly go through, and I don't know if Stephanie wants to help me out on some of these. Our workplace culture category, all the questions, we were able to answer yes and check all the boxes. We got 100 in that section. And those questions had to do with, do you ask for employee feedback? Did you do a survey? Yes, we did. Do you have a wellness plan? Yes, we have a wellness plan. We have employee assistance programs. We provide a leadership academy for our supervisors, our leadership team that teaches them about mental health awareness, that teaches them about legal things that you need to consider. We have a good compensation policy and market rate compensation. We have professional development opportunities. So all those categories, we were able to check, yes, we're doing these things. The second section was the mental health benefits. And those categories had to do with, do you offer health insurance that covers mental health, that covers substance abuse? Yes, we have that. Do we have the employee assistance program? Yes, we do. Do we have sick leave that can be banked for short-term disability? We sure do. Do we have long-term disability insurance? Yes. And we're comparing ourselves to other employers too. Do we hire part-time employees? Yes, we have part-time employees, and we help them navigate their benefits and health insurance. So we had a 77%. So what's our opportunities there? Our opportunities, one of the questions had to do with paid parental leave. So that was one of the things that we could look into. And then another question had several things under it about the part-time employees. Do you provide benefits to part-time employees? So those are some opportunities for review. The next category, caring beyond compliance, it had questions about, do you have practices to support employees who may be recovering from substance abuse? And so we have our different plans. We educate about the Americans with Disabilities Act. We have FMLA. We provide return to work procedures for somebody who may have been away for a different reason and needs to come back or transition back. So we do provide that. We have procedures for reporting accidents and incidents. We have policies of how you report things. They're asking questions of, do you have policies in place to take care of your employees? We have procedures for responding to, say, a critical accident. We have procedures in place for that. And then we also communicate major organizational changes to employees. And one of the examples is last year we had some changes in our health insurance premiums. We had communication that went out about that. It was talked about at commission meetings. It was talked about with the workforce. So we did communicate those big changes. The main opportunity in that section, we did receive a 94%. It had about, the opportunity would be expanding more education on substance use disorders, and ways to support employees who may have a substance use issue. In the last section that we got, an 81% was the holistic wellness. It focused on, do you have an insurance committee or committees, dedicated staff working on this? Well, yes, we do. We have a human resources department. We have an insurance committee of different employees who come together and talk about these things. Do you provide mental health trainings? Yes, we do. We've got several that Stephanie's going to talk about in just a second that we're going to be doing with our employees. Do we support work-life balance? Yes, we have financial education seminars. We do health and nutrition education. We have gym reimbursements. We help folks who want to prepare for retirement. We do volunteer opportunities for our staff, and we have significant wellness credits. So we do provide those things. And another question had to do with paid time off. We have significant amount of time off when you start looking at holidays, a personal day, vacation, sick leave. We do provide quite a bit of time for our employees. The opportunities in which we didn't get the full 100%, encouraging employees to use some of that time off for their health and wellness. That would be an opportunity. One of the questions had to do with remote working and more flexible employment. It's a little bit difficult at times with a workforce of a government, but it could be something to be reviewed. It even wanted more mental health trainings. It said expand upon that. And it also mentioned something about peer support and mentoring. If you have folks that need a little bit with their mental health concerns, need some peer support. So that's the sections of our Gold Bell Seal. Do you have any questions for me or Stephanie? Because we're going to be looking through this to see next year, they'll pull everything that we did and we can reapply.
Well, I just want to thank you and your team for the kind of energy and the kind of resources that you all have placed in this. And not just for mental health that has gone bad, but we want mental health to stay well.
Stay well.
And I think that's important too. And of course, I was interested to see how we can bring that 77% up, and you've already given us some opportunities. So I look forward to following where we are.
Yeah, I pulled all the questions where we didn't check every single box, and so we pulled it together, and it's actually a fairly short list of questions when you look at it. So we did quite well.
Yeah. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
It's good.
Thank you for this initiative. So I'll quickly go through the external awareness that we're going to do over the next month, and then I'll let Stephanie talk about the internal awareness. We are going to celebrate this Bell Seal. There will be a news release that's going to go out tomorrow and a social media post. We had the proclamation earlier in the meeting for mental health awareness. City Hall will be illuminated green for the month of May. There will be the social media campaign that focuses on the mental health theme for this month of more good days together and some news releases. And we do have our annual contract with PATS. We have 2 wraps on 2 different buses for 988. That is the crisis lifeline. It's a suicide and crisis lifeline that you can call if you're in need of talking to someone. But it's also, if you have a friend or family member that you're worried about, you can call and talk to the counselors, and they'll help you find ways to support that friend or family member. So the 988 hotline, there was a news story out that was just a few weeks ago about how it has more people that are calling it. So the word is getting out about it. So that's great. It's just 3 numbers. Just call them, and then you can talk to somebody that'll help you through your crisis. Now, Stephanie, I'll turn it over to Stephanie for what we're about to do internally.
Good evening. This year, we are going back to the T-shirts. I know last year we tried to change it up, and everybody asked where their T-shirt was. So we are going back to the T-shirts. We will include the Bell Seal Award that we received on those, and it will focus on that theme as well. We are still doing the educational seminars, and I highly recommend, if you're available to attend some of those. Dr. Jacobs puts those on for us. This year, on May 6th, we'll be returning to work after mental health leave and fostering a supportive workplace culture. On May 15th, it will be stress management and understanding the impact of perception on workplace interactions. And on May 21st, shift work and work-life balance, because we do have a number of employees that work shifts. We have employees here 24/7. Something that we are adding this year is a supervisor-specific session, so helping supervisors be more aware and fostering these work environments. So that will be something new this year. That one will be on May 27th here at City Hall. Any questions about those? We do tend to keep our policies updated and go through those areas where we fell short to see how we can make improvements.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, it looks great. That's all.
It is. I just had one thought, that as we get into our shirts, I want to recommend that we all have shirts like Commissioner Thomas, because he seems to have a shirt for every day of every color. So I want to be like him.
Green shirt for you for May.
How many different colors do you have shirts in?
I probably a lot. I have long sleeves. I have short sleeves. I got jackets. All of them on dime. I'll add. I paid for it myself. Most of it.
Get you on the cover of GQ. Stephanie, Pam, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mental health awareness has really been I mean, again, we've focused on it more. It's really been a bigger focus in the last 5 years. It really kind of exploded during COVID. We recognize this, so this is a continuation of commission priorities. So, and Dr. Jacobs, great to have you on board helping us.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so
All right.
Thank you.
City Manager, any comments?
None this evening, Mayor.
Commissioners?
None this evening, Mayor.
I may just say
None for me.
one, real quick. Me and Reverend Henderson were both able to go down to Richmond, Kentucky for KBC's local elected officials spring summit. And it covered things like AI in government, justice system. We got a rundown of the budget of the state from minority leaders on the Senate and the House. And just a thank you to the community for allowing us the opportunity to do things like that, to grow as leaders. And just, it was some great information that we were able to get at that summit. So, yep.
Right.
KBC is
Kentucky Black Caucus.
caucus
Yep.
for
Yep.
Local
city officials or
elected officials, Black
just
Caucus for
local?
local elected officials.
So mayors, commissioners, and there were state representatives and a senator there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Was the mayor of Bardstown there?
Yes. No, well, no, but the mayor, I don't know that the mayor of Bardstown was there.
Richmond.
But
was there,
Richmond,
yeah.
yes, Mayor of Richmond was present.
Okay. All right, thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Anybody else down here? Okay, we do have an executive session tonight. We will not be taking any action afterwards, and I would entertain a motion from our city clerk to move into that.
A proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to go into closed session for discussion of matters pertaining to the following topics: proposed or pending litigation as permitted by KRS 61.810 subsection 1C.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye.